What's up, guys? We are back with another Figura Obscura review, and this is another of the 2024 retailer exclusives. We're taking a look at, I believe I can safely say this still, that to date, Monkey King has been my favorite Figura Obscura. I absolutely love that figure, and I have no doubt that I'm going to love this one too, because this is a golden Monkey King, and in my limited ability to paint and customize, that was something I wanted to do, was to make a golden one like a Super Saiyan Monkey King, and the Four Horsemen just did it for me, so, you know, I can't really complain too much about that. It still comes in familiar packaging like we've seen with the rest of the Figura Obscuras. You get a little bit of a color change on the actual packaging, so it's the same artwork but different to what the regular version is. So you've got the Monkey King there on the front, you've got this tiger guy on the side, you got a write-up on the back. This is removable, this outer chipboard packaging, which I love this. You've got a really cool sort of serene mountain setting on the inside. Again, this is all Nate Barch artwork as usual. And then of course we've got the actual packaging within. You've got the figure there in the window. You've got a lot of other Nate Barch artwork that wraps around the front and the back and the spine, all the whole 9 yards for an, as usual, very good presentation. So yeah, let's do it. Let's pull them out and take a look. And here we go, out of the package, our retailer exclusive Figura Obscura Golden Monkey King. So this is, you know, for lack of a better way to say it, this is our Super Saiyan Monkey King. And this is something I've wanted personally for, well, I guess ever since we got that first one. I immediately knew that there was potential for a repaint on this one, not to mention the fact that I wanted this. I wanted to have a Super Saiyan Monkey King, a yellow version. I thought about doing it myself, but, you know, I'll be the first to admit, I'm not a great painter, so I didn't want to try and ruin one by doing this. So it's really cool to just be able to get one. Not to mention the fact that I just love this figure. It is my favorite Figura Obscura figure, and it's one of my favorite, you know, quote-unquote Legions figures, just because there is so much detail crammed into this guy. He's pretty insane. So let's see what he can do, see how he moves around. This figure does have a little hidden surprise to him, and I don't know if it was ever advertised. I don't know if they've talked about it in a stream or anything like that, but he has a new neck. He has an updated peg. So he had just a regular neck peg on him in the first release. This one is our new hinged ball peg, which, I mean, it's not a huge thing, but it's a pretty big thing for this figure because he does have such increased range. I mean, he can look straight up, he can look all the way down. You've got great tilt side to side. Of course, you've got full rotation. He is, however, still kind of limited because of how ornate he is. So he has probably the biggest pauldrons out of any figure I can think of, and it's mostly because they run down the length of his arm. So his arms really only go out that far. Now, if you take the pauldrons off, they will go out all the way, of course. But this is how he comes in the box, and this is how he's meant to be displayed. He does look kind of weird without them, so you do have to kind of work around them. You do, of course, have your swivel at the shoulder. You've got your single jointed but full 90 degree. Actually, that's a little bit better than 90 degrees. Swiveling arm, elbow, gauntlet swivel. You've got wrist swivel and hinge, of course. He's also hindered at the torso as well because he has this massive, massive belt buckle, or just piece, cod piece, whatever you want to call it. So he goes forward and backward. You've got tilt side to side. You've got your rotation, of course. All that normal stuff. All that standard 1.0 Legion stuff. Legs out at the side. They kick forward, kick backward. You've got your thigh twist up there. Single jointed swiveling knee. And then, of course, you've got swivel at the ankle. You've got hinge, you got a little bit of rocker. He does have kind of wide feet, so his rocker isn't quite as robust as others, but he gets the job done pretty well. And then he does have a tail. So the tail has swivel at the top of the tail, and then it's a bendy tail, and it's super, super bendy. You know, this is very reminiscent of the recent Ninian infantry figure that we got that I ran and raved about the tail on there. I guess I forgot how bendable it was on this figure too, because it's damn near exactly the same. So you can get it all over the place. You know, get it to crook around itself, so I love that. Very, very expressive, and it does help to just, you know, kind of sell the idea of maybe a little bit of motion or more dynamic posing with him. But again, the big difference, the big change, and I believe it's unadvertised, maybe not, I don't recall, is that he does have that updated neck peg, which, again, kind of a small change, but very, very impactful. Now, visually, this figure is, but also isn't in some ways, very different compared to the original. A lot of this, outside of the fur, because of course the fur is the big change, being a yellow version, and again, I'm all for it, absolutely love it. Not only that, it does look really good. Like, this very much works. Like, this looks exactly fine to me. Like, if this was the only version, I think I'd be perfectly content with that as well. But, you know, we'll bring in the standard one. I do have a different head on him here, and apparently I took the tail off this one at some point, and I don't know where I put it, so we're going to go tailless for now. But the changes are relatively subtle on this one. They're obvious when they're next to each other, but they're relatively subtle. So, of course, you know, the big thing is the fur is different. So he's yellow, he's brown. The undersuit is tan on this one, but you don't see a lot of that on this figure. A lot of it's covered by the armor, but it's red on this figure. So you can see his pants are red, his sleeves are red. A lot of the accent colors are red. So the armor is lined with red. The armor is lined with this sort of teal color here. He's got teal underneath the soft goods here on his waistband. It's red on this figure. So a lot of it is just sort of small changes. The soft goods are entirely the same, so they're all red. You know, I thought when we were going to get a Monkey King that it might be an entirely different color scheme. I wasn't exactly expecting them to do a yellow one. I thought it would just be an entirely different armor color scheme that they were going to do to reissue the figure and give us the armor in maybe silver or, I don't know, something else. I'm not really sure what I was thinking at the time. But I'm really happy with this because I do just, at face value, love the Monkey King's armor the way it is. It's one of the most detailed sets of armor that we've gotten in Legions to date, and we still haven't gotten a lot of it used all over the place. It has been somewhat recently, but overall, it's still very much the Monkey King's armor. Nobody else really has it. You don't get a lot of these parts anywhere else. So if you want them, you got to get more of this figure. So it's nice to be able to get them in a slightly different color scheme. I think once you get them next to each other, it's a little bit more obvious what is different. You know, the bracers are an entirely different color, things like that. They're entirely gold on this one. They're silver and gold here. But a lot of it is very subtle, and I'm perfectly fine with that. I think at face value, I really, really love this one. I'm not sure which one I prefer, honestly, because as far as I'm concerned, you kind of need them both, especially for me trying to complete a look with a regular one, and then, again, I'll say it, a Super Saiyan version. But this figure is just packed to the freaking gills with detail. Every little inch of this figure is covered in texture, covered in paint, covered in dry brushing, covered in washes. I mean, everything from the head to the hands to the tail to the feet. You've got all that fur texture, so there's little intricate detail there. All of these individual links all over the pauldrons with this, you know, very Shogun style armor that he has. And I love this look. It's so expressive. It's so detailed. Tons of paint. Tons of little tiny bits and bobs all over him. I'm just a big, big fan of this guy because not only does he work as a single figure with this look, he can definitely be integrated into Legions, especially with more stuff coming that utilizes this sort of style. You know, we've got figures that are coming down the road. We've got the recent Garich exclusive from Legions Con that integrates a little bit of this, so he kind of thematically can go with him. So you can start to build out something that's maybe a little bit more Asian inspired on your shelf. But this figure definitely still stands apart for me when it comes to the bulk of Legions. He is so ornate, so detailed. You know, the face is so incredibly expressive. He's got a scowl going right now. He's got the headband. We still have the faceplate system, which I think works incredibly well here. But the face, the paint, the sculpt, just an excellent, excellent job. Like we came to expect from the first figure, just done up in a slightly different color scheme on the armor and a very, very nice yellow on the fur. Now, as far as accessories goes, the Monkey King comes with the same stuff that we got the first time around. But again, like we see with pretty much all of these, everything is slightly changed up just a little bit. It's not an overwhelming difference in color palette on a lot of this stuff. So to begin with, we do have extra faces, and then we've got extra heads as well. Well, extra head. So we've got the yelling head on him here, or the face rather. So this is a standard head with the swappable faceplate. So of course, you know, we've got the standard faceplate there. And then you've got this one with his mouth open. He's very angry, so this is more like, you know, a battle or a fighting pose type of expression. We also, of course, get the more ceremonial headdress version with the feathers. So this has the face paint on it, and you also do get an extra faceplate, so you have both faces are represented on both heads. And of course, you can swap these out. They don't have to have the face paint on them, whatever you want to do. You've got multiple options there. And then you've got the feathers. These are removable, so you don't have to use them. These are different from the standard release. The standard release was a very deep blue, so this one is, of course, a red color. So you've got a little bit of a difference there. We do get some extra hands, so he's got horizontally, laterally hinged gripping hands. You get a set of vertically hinged gripping hands, and then you get a set of the style posy hands as well. We also get a set of swappable feet, so you get the little cloud slippers that he has here. These were almost entirely purple on the first figure. These are white and purple with gold trim. Really good paint on them. I mean, even the soles are painted on these things, which seems excessive, but I'm definitely not complaining about that. We get the little jug of wine. This is a different color. You also get the peach again, and this is a different color. This is like a more, I guess, a stereotypical looking peach here, rather than the sort of white and purple color that the other one was. We get the scrolls. You get 2 scrolls. They're done up with the silver and the gold on them again. Little red accents as well. And then you also get his, well, the power pole, we'll say, if we're talking Dragon Ball Z terms, but you get his staff here, which I love this thing. I mean, it's a relatively basic accessory, but it's so versatile with him, and it's integral to the story as well. Not to mention the fact that the handles are incredibly detailed and ornate. He also includes the beads as well. He comes with these on the box, comes with these on him in the box. And these are a different color also. They're entirely green here. I believe they were like green and purple on the first release. So he does still come with like a tremendous amount of stuff. He is very much stacked when it comes to accessories. I love the faceplate system on this figure just to give us so many options. You've got 2 heads with 4 faces, so you've got a number of options there. You've got extra hands, you've got extra feet on this guy, you've got weapons, and then you've got the other very story-specific accessories that really help to round him out. So yeah, overall, this is a really solid figure. If you don't have the first Monkey King, this is definitely one to pick up. It's an easy way to get a Monkey King right now. And again, I wanted a Super Saiyan Monkey King from the minute I got that first one out of the box. So it's nice to be able to get one without having to potentially ruin one myself, because I'm not that great of a painter. I do love the fact that they updated the neck peg on this guy with the updated hinged ball peg, because it makes a big difference for him just to be able to move that head around those monster pauldrons a little bit easier. The sculpt, the paint, the soft goods on this figure are everything you would expect to get. And again, you know, this guy is one of the more intricate figures that we've gotten in a while. He is just so heavily detailed, and one of the shining examples of how hard the Horseman can go on a figure. There's so much packed into this package, not to mention all of the accessories, the faceplate system, and just everything that comes in with this one. He is absolutely loaded. So that's going to do it for this look at the Figura Obscura retail exclusive Golden Monkey King. Let me know what you guys think. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and until next time.